Have you ever stopped to think about all those thoughts that run through your head when you first get up in the morning? Yeah, I know. To think about the thoughts doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's really the only wording I can put behind it. So those when you first get up in the morning, do you have these random non linked kind of thoughts that build no kind of pattern in any way, shape, or form? The I figured out that throughout my life I have had those, and I've had them a lot. And recently I've recognized them because I've been trying to change how I start my day. I have found that I like to start my day calm. I like to start my day in a certain way. That might come with age. I'm not certain, but it has led me to really pay attention to what I'm thinking about when I get out of bed in the morning. And what I've done is I've sort of come up with three things that I believe can help with that. The first thing I did was I stopped looking at my phone when I get out of bed. I don't look at notices that come across. I have put a hiatus on looking at my phone or turning the news on or be affected by the outside world for the first 2 hours when I'm out of bed. Yes, that means that I need to get up earlier than when I need to leave. But there's nothing that happens overnight that is a dire emergency that you will have to attend to. So, and if it was, somebody would figure out a way to get a hold of you. They would ring your phone over and over and over again. They would come to your house. They would knock on your door. However they would get a hold of you, they would. So nothing that appears on your phone first thing in the morning is detrimental to the way you start your morning. And I believe that by controlling what interaction you have and outside pressures first thing in the morning can help eliminate and reduce those thoughts you get up in the morning. Because if you put yourself in the mindset that I'm not going to worry about what's going on the moment I step out of bed, then those thoughts traditionally will not turn on. And those thoughts don't have to be like, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? And do I need to get to take the dog to the vet? Anything like that. They're completely off the wall and a lot of times have nothing to do with really and truly what's going on in your life during that time. There's plenty of times where stress is going to get to you and you have some really hard emotional kind of things going on that'll consume you. But in the normal day to day, when you first get out of bed and those thoughts are running rampant, stop a minute and think potentially it could be how you start your day that is causing them. The next thing that I did to sort of manage those is something before I go to bed. So I've reduced my screen time and reduced my screen time of, am I staring at the television too long? Am I scrolling my phone too long? Am I sitting in front of a computer too long? And what I've tried to do is, even if it's as simple as 5 minutes before I crawl into bed, is to stop using a screen, stop looking at something that is sort of not having any cognitive effect, and potentially even just sit by yourself for a minute and let your brain relax and sort of just remind yourself you're going to bed. And that has seemed to help with what I wake up thinking about, because I wasn't having an overload of information being poured into me, but subconsciously, consciously, it didn't matter how that was happening, but I didn't have a lot of information being poured into me before I went to bed. So then when I wake up in the morning, my thoughts seem to be clearer, or in many cases as a male, just none, no thoughts. I'm just up. I know where I need to be, what I need to be doing. I need to know where I need to be going. And then I move on with my day. And I have consciously been paying attention to what I am thinking about when I get out of bed in the morning, to see if the efforts that I'm putting in with reducing that screen time has been affecting it, and it seems to be helping. So if you're waking up with random thoughts in your head and your mind just seems to race, potentially you could try reducing that screen time. And yes, I know in this day and age, people are on the phones all the time, but that's part of what is happening, is that we are just being inundated with so much information, and processing it all is causing us to really not be able to process a lot of it, is what's happening. So the third thing that I believe has helped me is I've started reading more, with the idea that it will expand thoughts through a cognitive process of actually reading what is on the paper. And I'm not talking about reading more on my phone or on a tablet with a Kindle or anything. I'm actually talking an actual real paper book. And a lot of what I've found is it generates a cognitive response that I'm learning something new. I'm reading about, potentially it's an entertainment book. I'm reading of a biography of somebody, or could be a mindset book I'm reading on how to affect my life moving into the future, or it's a history book, and I'm providing myself with the ability to actually think about something that I'm interested in. I'm learning how somebody lived their life. I'm learning how their choices affected them. I'm learning how they made better choices. And that right there starts to expand my mind and open myself up to new horizons that I potentially never knew existed. So then what happens is the next morning when I get up, if I'm thinking of something, they're not just random thoughts. A lot of times I will be thinking about what I read, how that potentially could impact my day, or eventually my entire life. And what it does is it sets me up for how my day is going to be. As I said before, I believe that the thoughts you start off your day with will set the tone for your day. And if you don't do something to sort of change that habit of having these really random, off the wall kind of thoughts and ideas when you get out of bed, then what potentially are you not opening room up for to then bring in great ideas and potential life altering kind of thoughts and concepts and systems and equations. And if you're not consciously moving forward with affecting the information you take in, then what expectation can anybody have with fresh in the morning, right out of bed, and what is rolling through your mind is just, like I said, non-consensual kind of, or non lineal thoughts, ones that join together, one that create a whole kind of, statement or expectation or circumstance changing. It really does come down to, setting yourself up for a good morning means that what you're putting into your brain before you go to bed will elicit something in the morning. And if it's good information, quality information, peaceful information, it can produce those good thoughts in the morning. If you're putting a bunch of rhetoric into it and a bunch of hate and violence and anger, well, when you get up in the morning, I would truly expect you to have really off the wall kind of ideas and thoughts. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Put your comments below and subscribe to the channel. And until we talk again, live life like you mean it.